Hello everybody, this is Midday Express with KURHULA MKANSI, giving you the latest news update on channel 500 on Starset and also on our Galaxy Universal Network page on Facebook. And now heading straight to our headlines, President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the virtual conference on expanding Africa's vaccine manufacturing. Premier Alan Wende plans to fight against TB, and while footballers in Zimbabwe play in money matches to support their families. And now moving on to the first story today, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the virtual conference on expanding Africa's vaccine manufacturing. President Ramaphosa said that the virtual conference is taking place at a critical moment in the struggle of the African continent and the global community to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. He said that while the global rate of transmission continues to climb, millions of people across the world are being vaccinated every day. In his address, the president also said despite concerns around new waves of infection and the emergence of new variants, the production of effective vaccines has provided hope for recovery. He then added that not all countries can share equally in the hope of having access to vaccines at the time they need the most.
This virtual conference is taking place at a critical moment in the struggle of our continent and the global community to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. While the global rate of transmission continues to climb, millions of people across the world are being vaccinated every day. Despite concerns around new waves of infection and the emergence of new variants, the production of effective vaccines has provided hope for recovery for many. But not all countries can share equally in the hope of having access to vaccines at the time they need them most. The global disparities in wealth and capability to develop, to produce and have access to vaccines is hampering efforts by middle and lower income countries to make vaccines available to their populations. The challenge that many African countries face is that the supply of vaccines is currently too slow to meet our needs. Our immediate task, therefore, is to secure sufficient vaccine doses for African countries through the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team, which has made valuable progress through its engagement with vaccine manufacturers. This effort is supported by other initiatives to manufacture vaccines on the continent where possible under license and in collaboration with current developers and manufacturers. The Aspen facility in South Africa, for example, will make some 220 million doses available following the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team's agreement with Johnson & Johnson.
And now moving on to the next story, the African National Congress in Johannesburg has concluded their day 2 of vote registration in Ward 7 Fine Town. Amelia Zama, the leader of Ward 7, said that she truly gives thanks to everyone who has been coming in to show love and support, especially to the youth who also share their experience on the ground. Meanwhile, the other ward members state that the campaign has been a true success.
So today was our door-to-doors, including our voter registration. It was a huge success. We had first-time voters coming in, but to give you more information is our volunteers.
Okay, so with this door-to-door and these elections have been a success because in the past years we haven't gotten this large numbers of youth. Remember, the youth has not been active for some couple of years right now, but right now we see young people coming forth and wanting to work, hungry for this victory. Yeah.
Amandla. As a party agent, the ANC, sibe nawo ama-challenges sibe nawo, kodwa kuko konke kube kahle, and then bafikile sinama membership akhona arejistile, and then kuko konke kuhambe smooth, si-enjoyile, abantu bafikile, noma kuyi Sunday kodwa abantu bafikile. Kwaqhubeka usuku abantu baba nalolo gqozu lelo lokuvota, nalolo gqozu lokuthola ikhansela entsha esithembayo ukuthi izosinikeza ushintsho, esithembayo ukuthi i-youth izobanikeza ushintsho nasempilweni zabo, kube khona nomdlandla entweni abafisayo ukuzenza. Baningi abantu abakhona, especially youth ibikhala la ukuthi bafundile, bahle nama-matrics abo, but there's no hope. Since i-pandemic le esikuyona, we lost hope, but siyathemba ukuthi kuzoba noshintsho oluzoba khona amandla.
The city of Joburg's Matsiriso Mfikwa said that she thanks the youth for exercising their rights to vote in the by-elections voter registration weekend.
Good afternoon. Today we are in Ward 7 where there is a by-election. This weekend was registration weekend. We have done all that we could do to get the community, especially young people, to come out to register, for them to be able to vote on the 19th of May. We want to appreciate and thank all the community members, more so young people that came out to register so that they are able to vote on the 19th. Voting is everybody's right. It is a right of communities having their public representatives so that they are able to direct with them what they need and want to see government doing, you know. So we want to appreciate and say thank you very much to the community of Ward 7 for them to come out to register. More so, particularly focusing on the youth. We did see quite a lot of young people coming out to register, and we want to say to them the future is in their hands, so we'd really appreciate them coming. We also want to thank the volunteers of the ANC who worked very hard in making sure that the stations are manned, people come out to register and are coming out to make sure that their voices are heard. Thank you very much. Let us all work very hard to ensure that we do win the by-election. This is one of the 4 wards that have a by-election. We have Ward 7, Ward 17, Ward 18, and Ward 23. So we want to say thank you for all the community members that came out to register in actually the 4 by-elections wards that have by-elections. With those words, thank you very much. I hope your weekend was good and looking forward to a new week.
And moving on to the next story, as the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, announced his plans for the week, he has announced that his biggest plan is to fight against tuberculosis. Winde said that as TB is a curable disease, they are going to use all the COVID-19 learnings as a background when fighting against TB. The Western Cape Premier also mentioned that they will be going on with cabinet meetings this week, and he thanked the Western Cape residents for flattening the curve of COVID-19.
Hi, this is Alan Winde, Premier of the Western Cape, and the start of a new week. First of all, with regard to the COVID-19 numbers, thank you very much. Everyone's playing their part, and we were worried post the long weekends of Easter that perhaps we'd see some spreader events, but so far so good. The numbers seem to be under control, and wherever any number starts to grow, everyone zooms in and makes sure we flatten that curve. Please keep doing what you're doing. Also, we are, as a government, are going to be focusing a lot more on fighting tuberculosis. TB is a curable disease, and all the learnings from COVID-19 we're going to be using now as sort of background in saying, what do we do differently about tackling, something that's been around with us for hundreds and hundreds of years, to TB. But we're going to really be putting a lot more energy now. This is a curable disease, and we all need to work together in making sure that we flatten this curve as well. And of course, as a government, we continue this week with our cabinet meetings and making sure that we're focusing on our focus areas, jobs and getting the economy back, keeping a focus on safety and an eye on safety, as well as dignity, and that net that really is there to protect the citizens in our province. And talking about jobs, I continue to meet with the consuls general across the world coming or represented here in the region, because we've got to keep focusing on foreign direct investment. We've got to keep focusing on the economy.
And now moving on to some African stories. After the 2019 Zimbabwe Premier League concluded in December that year, football players and fans looked ahead to the next campaign in March 2020. The onset of the unprecedented global COVID-19 pandemic called for a ban by the government on all sporting activities in Zimbabwe. The football players find themselves between a rock and a hard place as they make the hard decision to expose themselves to injury and coronavirus in order to feed their families. The government body, the Zimbabwe Football Association, has condemned participation in money games on the basis that they are breaking the country's laws to prevent the spread of the coronavirus and are also in breach of ZIFA's Code of Ethics. The Zimbabwe Football Association has condemned participation in the money games, deeming them both unlawful and a breach of the government's body code of ethics.
The onset of the unprecedented global COVID-19 pandemic called for a ban by the government on all sporting activities in Zimbabwe. The move has seen the income of many professional athletes in the country disappear, in particular, football players.
Yes, these Premier League players, they are living a very miserable life. They live on soccer, but at the moment, there's nothing to write home about. They eat, sleep and drink football, but at the end of the day, they can't put food on the table because there's nothing, no incentive, no nothing, no COVID allowance, no nothing at the moment.
As such, unsanctioned social soccer money games, where teams play high-risk fixtures for a cash pot, have sprung up across the nation. Players make the hard decision to expose themselves to injury and the coronavirus in order to feed their families.
Our contract, they stipulate that we don't have to play those games. So I would advise for me to say they cannot play, it's a lie. They will play, but they have to take precautionary measures.
The Zimbabwe Football Association has condemned the money games, deeming them both unlawful and a breach of the body's code of ethics.
We encourage players to remain ethical as they conduct their football activities and not to be in any way in breach of national laws that do not allow the gathering or the organization of football activities during this corona.
And now we are going to take a very short break. Do stay with us because we have something exciting after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Make massive moves.
Isn't that your daughter's bib? But the truth is, I feel like Arabella's always with me.
Don't you ever forget this man's face. He killed your brother.
Don't shoot! Please don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Make massive moves with Starsight. Make massive moves.
I feel confident. I feel like I can take on the world.
So you're telling a story through your clothes.
Such a professional, you wouldn't even know.
Criticism is one of my biggest motivations.
Darling, you want to be a model?
Like, oh my God.
I'm glistening.
The fashion industry needs people with beautiful faces.
I would pay thousands of dollars for that look.
Make massive moves with Starsight.
I want you to eat healthy food because it's delicious.
Make massive moves.
Would you like another one?
I love it.
I love this soup. This is amazing. The grits are so creamy. Oh.
I take pride in my grits.
No, so flavorful.
I think that looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
Make massive moves with Starsight. Make massive moves.
Wow.
Let's go. Come on, we can be back by morning.
Looky! Who are you?
I'm the boss.
Really?
Really?
Yeah! Awesome! Totally! Yeehaw! Very funny.
Make massive moves with Starsight. Make massive moves.
So you're the best fighter in China.
Give me the Emperor's sword, and I'll spare your life.
Shisha sector's gone too far.
Make massive moves with Starsight. Make massive moves.
How can you say that?
That is what it is.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Midday Express with KURHULA. And now, just like I said that we have something very excited, we have LULAMA K in studio, who is a South African artist who makes soothing music that soothes both young and old people. He has 4 songs out so far for the year, which are Daliwami, Uswiti, Awumameli, and Sengizwile. He will be releasing his new single Tina in about 2 weeks, which is an amapiano song focused on exploring a different genre. Oh, well, thank you for joining us in studio today, LULAMA K. Now tell us, who is LULAMA K and where does this name come from?
Thank you so much, my love. LULAMA K stands for my full name, which is LULAMA Kene. So we just cut the surname to say LULAMA K. Well, LULAMA K is an artist, is a songwriter, is a producer, and also an entrepreneur.
So now tell us about like the songs that you have released for the year, and yeah, how is that going so far?
Oh, well, yes, as you've mentioned so far, I've released about 4 songs so far, which is Sweetie, Daliwam, Sengizwile, and Awumameli. And all those songs are actually doing great. We are currently busy now in a drive of pushing one song, which is called Awumameli. And people at home, they must know about it. That's what we are really pushing at this moment.
So now, what inspired you to be doing music? I mean, like, there are so many careers, and here you are today as an artist. What inspired you to be an artist?
No, you know what, I think for me, it's their calling is deeper, because actually when I was growing up, you know, I grew up in a family that was around music. So as I was growing up, then I ended up being involved more into music, then it then became my life, which is what it is today.
So now I see that you are mentioned as someone who makes soothing music, and also it's for like young and old people. Like, how is that? Like, how do you know that, you know, your music is actually suitable for the young ones and also for the older people?
No, you know what? Funny enough, in my music journey, I started singing gospel. So I was in gospel, then I was in Statamia, then I was in Afro soul, then I'm in Afro pop now. So in my music that I'm doing now, so I'm trying to kind of put all those genres into one genre, you know. So which is the kind of music that I'm doing. So, you know, the soothing comes from a gospel, for instance. So all of those elements, they come to make what I do today.
So if you are young or you are old, don't ever think LULAMA K is not your thing. He's definitely your thing. All right. And then now tell us about the new single that is coming up, and yeah, why Iti now? What's happening?
All right, so the new single that we are busy with now is called Qina. Okay, the Qina is actually a Xhosa word. Okay, in direct translation, it means be strong. So we wrote the song as kind of a motivation to our people out there. You know, you can be someone who's looking for work and things are not going well. You know, we're saying to you, clean up, be strong. You know, it can be at home. There's things happening hard at home. We're saying to you, clean up. So it's more of a motivation song, but we're then putting it in a more groovy style, which is in a piano kind of a dance song. So that's what it is about.
It's about Nandi. Yes, it's about Nandi. So now, what are the challenges that you have like gone through as an artist?
You know what, I think the most challenges that we go through, most especially as an upcoming artist, is exposure. You know, there's artists or producers who are working very hard, but now they don't really have the platform, you know, to actually come and expose whatever music that they are making. So even for myself, that has been a struggle, and that's what we're really struggling with as upcoming artists.
So, okay, as an upcoming artist, who do you wish, if you had one wish, like someone would come tomorrow and say, yo, bro, let's work? Who would you want that to be?
It would definitely be Black Diamond. Yeah, I would really love to work with the guys. Yeah, I really enjoy their music. In fact, the guys from the Black Diamond crew, you know, Fakalo Ice, you know, there's in Dubai, you know, all those guys from the Ambitious Entertainment. I would love to work with them. I really enjoy what they are doing. They're doing great.
So if Ambitious came with a briefcase and they're like, Siaksaina, you are in. You are definitely
you know,
Skibeli
Feral. We are there.
We are there just like that. Okay, so now who do you look up to?
I look up to my mom.
Okay.
Yes, I look up to my mom simply because of how she raised us as a single parent. So that's who I look up to.
So okay, as you look up to her, right?
Yes.
Yabona abazali, most of the time when you tell them I wanna do music, they're like, no, you have to be a doctor. No, you have to be a teacher. No, you have to do like careers that are well known and the careers that are known to like make money and all. How has she reacted to you saying, okay, you know what, Mina, I'm going to be an artist?
You know what, for me, I knew about that when I was still at high school because I've heard stories, you know. So what I did, I made sure that I go to a school. I'm currently now a graduate. I did IT. I'm a software developer. So if there's anything that would go wrong, I do have one side that I can always fall up to. So yeah, even when I came here in Johannesburg, I was doing work. I was employed as an IT. Then I moved into the music game. So she's happy. We are both happy.
Okay, so now where do we find your songs? Where do we find you online? Where do we stream your music?
All right, well, I'm available on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok as well. The name is LULAMA K, one word, LULAMA K. Then if you go to the digital stores, if you type in LULAMA K, you will see all of my work that then you can download. And also on our YouTube as well, LULAMA K, one word, LULAMA K.
Guys, you need to stream LULAMA K, not going on Fakaza. Let us stream LULAMA K. Now, there are now kids who think, how can I get there? You know, like, where do I start? Like, what is your message to them? How would you, like, inspire people who are asking themselves, where do I get there?
100%. The one thing that they need to do, the first thing, which is to perfect the craft, because there's lots of people who go out there with a premature craft, you know. Then they end up saying that the doors are being closed, whereas the music is not good itself. So the one thing that I would say that just make sure that the craft that you are doing is perfect. Also go to different people, let them hear your stuff, and also be able to receive constructive criticism for you to be better.
I hope that you all heard that. I hope that we all heard it. So now, let's play a little bit of a cheat game. So, can you please give us two lines of Utlina, right? Yeah. Just 2 lines of the song so that, you know, we know what we are expecting, you know?
Okay. It goes like, now when you die. Yeah. Clean now with my man. That's it. Then it goes like that.
Yeah. Then it's gonna be us.
Song.
Yes. He cannot give us the whole thing. So we need to relax and wait. 2 weeks, I need
2 weeks. Yes.
So when is the exact date that we're gonna find your song on all the digital platforms?
You know what? I think the best thing is for the guys, make sure you follow LULAMA K, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Then all the details in terms of when is it gonna be exactly, you will see it there. please guys follow.
Definitely. If you want to you have to follow Ululama K. So now, why are you going on to Amapiano?
Okay, well, that's a very, very good question. The only reason for us to go to Amapiano is that we wanted to explore the gender. In fact, when we went to a studio, we were just playing, The guy said, Lulama, we know that you're an Afro soul, you're an Afro pop artist. What can you do here? So, played around, then songs came. So yeah, but that's not what we're going to be doing in the future, but it's something that we just had to explore for now. Yeah.
Whew, guys, can we just please follow Lulama K for all of this exciting journey and things that are going to be happening? Because it seems like this guy is capable of making magic in the music industry. So, well, don't forget the name is Ululama K. It was great having you in studio. Looking forward to hearing your song Isqini Senati Siqine Yazini. You know what? And thank you very much for tuning in with us. This was Midday Express with KURHULA MKANSI. Ciao.